Yo, what is up, Terror Talk? It's Will.
And it's Hector.
And today we got a very special episode. Don't do that.
Oof.
We don't do that anymore. You're showing your age. But
I just do those.
Yeah, those are old trends. Don't do those.
They were
Maybe we're going to bring them back.
Maybe.
Well, today on Terror Talk, we have a very special video for you. It's going to be our review of Saw 10.
Dun, dun, dun.
Saw 10. So, Saw 10, I had very low hopes for this movie.
Me too. I actually thought it was going to fucking suck.
I was like, I do not want to see this movie. But for you guys, I was like, let's go and watch this movie. Let's give it a proper review. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised.
But before we get into it, remember when we first saw the trailer?
Yeah.
And we're like, every time we hear, every time you hear cancer, you always think of Kramer.
Yeah.
I didn't survive the cancer. You're like, oh, this is definitely a Saw movie.
Yeah. So
in
the trailer where there's like, hey, the cancer came back. You're like, oh, hell no.
Oh, here comes John Kramer.
Again. John Kramer again with another apprentice. Like, just to give some context, the last movie in the continuity of Saw. So, if you know all the Saw movies, Spiral, the Chris Rock one, is the last movie that came out, but it is the last one in succession of all the films. The last movie that came out that kept the John Kramer timeline, which took place before Part 1 actually, was called Saw 8. And at that moment, when I saw that in the theater, I was so depleted of joy and happiness, and it was nothing but suffering and pain when I saw that movie. I was just like, okay, this is enough, because every single movie we get another apprentice. It follows the same thing. Jigsaw was doing this longer than you think. He has another apprentice.
He has cancer.
He has cancer again. He has multiple cancers. And then when they revealed that guy at the end was the first apprentice of John Kramer, I was just so sick of this freaking series. I couldn't. I was like, I don't want to see anymore. Other than introducing one of the most evil characters in all the Saw movies, the girl that looked like Eliza Dushku, who killed her own baby and then blamed the baby daddy.
She does look like Elijah Dushku.
No, she does.
Well, she actually looks like Kalila too, Bobby Lee's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the father kills himself in jail. Awful character. But then it's like, there was like that character and then somebody was like drunk driving. I'm like, these two people are not the same in terms of their punishment. They shouldn't be. For
me, I think it was after 3. I gave up on Saw.
Oh, you stopped after 3?
Yeah, because it was just like The Walking Dead. See, after season 2, I said, fuck this shit.
Oh, Walking Dead after season 2?
Yeah, because
season 4 is some of the best.
Well, season 2, no, I came back.
Oh, you came back. Oh, okay.
I came back. It's like Gotham too. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
No, I haven't.
I saw Gotham season 1. I said, fuck this show.
Yeah.
Came back a season later. I said, oh shit, it's great.
Not bad.
Same thing with Walking Dead, man. And for Saw, that's how I feel right now, man.
Well, Saw after 3, you were
after
like...
After 3, I was like, I'm over it.
But 6 was good, though, actually.
Here's my thing with the Saw movies. I was never a big Saw guy. Like, when I saw the first 2, I was like, this is fucking phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But then I'm just like, I'm good with my life.
You were good after that.
Yeah, it just is not my type of horror stuff.
What, like the torture porn stuff?
Yeah, the torture, like Hostel and stuff like that. To me, that was better torture than what I've seen Saw. Because some of the Saw stuff is cheesy.
The editing was kind of weird and
then
stuff,
once,
right?
What's his name? Rest in peace. Chester from Linkin Park was in it too.
Oh, he was in one of the last ones.
I think he was the one with the car.
Yeah, Saw 3D. He played like a white supremacist.
Yes.
These
so
I'm
just like, all right, here we go. So we're gonna keep seeing like cameos in these movies.
That's the main problem with the Saw movies, is that you have to watch them all to even understand what the hell's going on.
It's true, though.
Because if you jump into 5, you're going to be very lost. Because they got FBI agents that you thought died and are back, then they died again, and then they fake their own death, and then this guy's back, but then he's in a Saw trap, but then his wife's back, and it gets to a soap opera. It's a soap opera. It's so tangled up.
It's very much like, oh, this is gonna happen. No, but this happened. No, but then
it's spaghetti code. It's spaghetti code.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like,
it's very much like, oh,
you're just like,
no way, it was her.
And then this person, there's this apprentice. It just got so muddled to the point where you're like, I was done with Saws.
Yeah.
But in comes strutting in their stuff into the bar with a nice little mini skirt, looking pretty nice with some fake boobs. As you're drinking your beer, and then they just smooze you on over, sit right next to you, and they ask you, hey, my name's Delilah. What's your name? And I go,
or they come up to
me,
who are the Steelers playing next? I'd be like,
yeah. And then it's unexpected, but I'm telling you right now that Saw 10, the Saw 10 is the best Saw movie in my opinion.
When I went in, I was like, this is fucking crazy how good it is.
It's so good.
I was so taken. You know what I like about it? It got
fucking
into it.
Yeah.
It did not play no fucking games.
This movie feels like there was somebody that genuinely had a good idea for a storyline, right? They said they were inspired.
You know?
Yeah, it felt like James Wan, but it ain't James Wan.
James Wan sold it for
it ain't James Wan.
After 2,
he's
right?
producing. He's still producer on this.
No, but like he sold the rights after what? Saw 2?
I think 2, yeah. I think 2. But
after 2 he was done.
But this ain't James Wan. This is somebody way more nuanced. Like, the story actually gives a shit. Like, it's like, okay, let's make it a drama first. A drama first.
Yeah.
That always wins. And then the horror will come after. We'll sprinkle the horror in. It's not a horror movie. It's a drama movie with horror aspects in it.
Yeah, see, here's the cool thing about it. It's make you like John Kramer. Like, you already like him, but, like, you know he's Jigsaw, right? You know he's killing people.
Yeah.
However way you want to look at it, you're actually rooting for this guy. Like, man, I really hope this guy's cancer goes away. I already know.
Yeah, I never was rooting for him.
Stage 4 pancreatic cancer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. It's
adios amigos. Well, he does die though, but
yeah.
the thing is, I never was rooting for John Kramer. I never.
Really? In this movie,
no.
it made me root for him.
I never rooted for him in this movie, and I never rooted for him in other movies either. With the ideology is false to me. I think he's an evil character.
Yeah, 100%.
And he tries to make it like he's not evil.
It's your choice. I'm not the one killing you, but you're putting them in the situation.
Yeah, he's one of the most evil characters, and what makes him worse than other characters than Freddy and Jason, because Freddy and Jason going out killing people, he tries to justify his murders and tries to make him like he's justice and he's altruistic, or he's teaching people a lesson when he's giving these people impossible traps that are going to maim them for the rest of their life.
Like the fucking kid who stole. I was glad that didn't actually happen. The kid who stole the watch.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, listen. What if you don't know his whole story?
Yeah, right.
You
don't know.
He's that desperate. He has to steal something.
Yeah, he's a lot of judgment going on from John Kramer.
And then I was just kind of like, that was the only part of the movie. I was like, what the fuck? I would have been pissed if that actually happened.
But that was one of the safe. That was one of the most safe saw traps, though. It was one of the more tame ones, if you think about it. Just 5 broken fingers.
So
that's not bad.
The saw traps in this one was definitely like.
Well,
intense.
that one was okay. You could get out of that.
I think so.
That's the one anybody like the bear trap one. I'm dead.
Yeah.
The finger one you can get out.
But that's all I had to do was just turn the knobs.
Yeah,
away
right there. I wouldn't care.
I'm like fucking.
Yeah, break my fingers. It's cool.
I would do it little by little.
I never was on his side, on John Kramer's side, even from like the entire movie. But what this film does masterfully is that I understand where he's coming from. I understand his story. I'm not sympathetic to him, but I'm like, okay, I get where you're coming from now. Like, I get a better understanding of his ideology. I get a better understanding of why he does the things that he does.
Yeah.
I get a better understanding of the mind, the man inside what's going on. It's not the fact that, like, I wasn't, he's still garbage, but I'm like, okay, I'm invested in this character. This is a character study. It's not some BS Saw movie. This is a character study on a killer, and what makes him tick.
Yeah. But it showed that he's vulnerable.
Yeah, of course.
And I thought that was pretty cool, because in every other Saw movies, he's like unstoppable.
He's always
total
one
control. Step ahead of you, that kind
of,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this movie, it really showed his side where, he's really hoping that he could beat this cancer.
Yeah.
Even though he knows he can't.
Yeah. So the Saw.
The fact that he even got tricked.
He got tricked. Yeah. So the Saw. Yeah.
It showed that he's just like us. Just.
We're all trying to get a little bit more of life. So
yeah, exactly.
This Saw movie, just to give you a recap of it, and this is a spoiler review, so if you didn't see the movie, definitely watch it. It's good. It gets my highest recommendation. I give it a Diamond T.
Ooh!
So this story is basically...
Is Diamond the highest?
Yeah, Diamond's the highest. Yeah.
I always think Platinum is the highest.
Yeah, Diamond. So this story takes place in between Saw 1 and Saw 2, and in the sense that John Kramer is an advanced level of cancer at this point. He's trying to find any way to live just a little bit. He wants to live. And
he's going through chemo regardless.
Yeah. He's going through chemo.
He sees that one dude.
Yeah, well, he's going through chemo. He's going through support groups. It's a whole thing. He wants to live. And it's advanced. So in his support group, he meets a character who cures him. So he gets cured of his cancer.
Stage 4 pancreatic. He even says it's terminal.
Yeah. So he gets cured of it, and John Kramer, of course, is intrigued.
I wish it was true. I wish the pancreatic cancer is such a scary thing, man. It's like, I just wish that there was a definitive cure for it. You know what I mean? like in the movie, but there isn't.
There isn't, and there's not in the movie either. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they meet up, and John Kramer, wanting to live, wanting to continue his legacy of teaching people lessons, gets the idea that it can be cured with a special treatment of different enzymes, proteins, vitamins, and surgery that the FDA doesn't want you to know. And it's believable because I feel that Jigsaw in this movie, or John in this movie, is super vulnerable, right? He's vulnerable in a position, he's desperate. So I was like, I wasn't looking at him as dumb because the way they set him up.
What they said too was like, it's plausible, but it's just not there. We don't have that kind of. Well, I don't know yet. There is a.
Well, there's not, but it's like
you know.
they make it believable enough.
Yeah. And
he's desperate enough where you're just like, okay, I'm on board. I get why he's doing this. I mean, we obviously know it's not because we've seen the trailer, but you do know, you have an idea like, okay, you're invested in the situation. They set it up perfectly so that you're not asking too many questions, even though you know what road it's going to lead down. So he goes to Mexico and this state-of-the-art facility, but it turns out to be a complete ruse. Everybody's in on it. They want his money. And not only that, is that they've been preying on terminally ill patients. Like, people giving them false hope and taking their last bit of money. Like, taking away their hope, preying on their hope, and taking away all their money. But unfortunately for them, they screwed over the wrong dude.
Yeah.
John Kramer, baby.
They got John Kramer.
You shouldn't have did that.
Like
you shouldn't have did that.
Break in someone's house. It better not be John Wick.
No. See, yeah, this is the
That's what
equivalent.
started the whole John Wick series.
Yeah, this is the equivalent of killing John Wick's dog.
Yep.
You scam John Kramer. So in short order, he calls up his buddy Amanda, and I'll get to that in a second. And then they set up a whole bunch of traps pretty quickly, by the way, and they get all the people involved to play a game.
But the cool thing about the traps, you could tell they were just made up right there.
Yeah, they're made.
You know how like in the other movies they're like, okay, they're really well done and this and that. This is like it just got put together, which I appreciate because it just shows, obviously he didn't have enough time to get all his fucking tools and shit like that.
And speaking of the traps too, what I like about the traps in this movie is that if you know the Saw series, you've watched the Saw series, the majority of the Saw traps in the entirety of the series, including the Chris Rock one, they're done by characters that don't want you to get out of the trap. So the majority of, you remember Detective Hoffman was one of the Jigsaw people, and Amanda was one of them as well. They set up traps that were unwinnable, right? So the majority of the Saw series, the people that are in the traps are not getting out of these traps, right? Nope. But the difference between these traps and those traps is that John Kramer did these traps. And you can tell in this movie that John Kramer does want them to get out of the traps. Like, it feels like he wants them to get out. There's more time. There are actually people that win it. There's a couple people that win the traps.
Right, the first guy.
Yeah, and the girl too. She wins too. But it feels winnable. They're different style traps than we're used to because we're used to just everyone dying.
The prostitute, the fake nurse one.
Yeah,
that shit was rough.
That sucked. Yeah,
that was like, to me, that was the worst trap.
Yeah,
saw off your whole.
You have to saw off her leg, and then she had to put and drain the marrow out.
Let me tell you something, man. If you're sawing your leg off, just by the pain, you're passing out. No way you could go through it.
No way, right?
No way.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That was right. I don't think she deserved that much.
That was the worst one. And then not only do you cut off your leg, then you have to put it in there and get the bone marrow to weigh down the thing. I'm just like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, actually, the worst trap for me, then that was the first trap. The second trap was the guy had to cut a piece of his brain out.
Yeah, and I was just like, I can't fucking do that shit.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'm dead.
And then he's just kind of I don't know, like, you do that, just kind of like,
and then
just be dead.
I'd be dead. And the third trap was the
radiation one.
When she was hanging. Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah, that was rough. But I could probably get out of that. I'd probably get out of that one.
She's like handcuffed on her foot and arm, so she had to beat off. Pretty much
beat off. Hey, yo.
Hey. She had to beat her. She had to beat that shit clean.
She had to break her hand, break her feet.
Pretty much break her hand and feet just to get out.
And to get out, but
which I would have done. I
one,
personally would have done the hand first.
The hand.
The lady was like, "Do your foot first." I was like, "No, why?"
Because of the weight. I guess the weight can pull you down a little bit more too. I don't know, but these traps were a little bit. They were winnable, and two people do win their traps. So it's like when you see the difference between John Kramer's traps and then Detective Hoffman and Amanda's traps because they're not winnable. They don't believe in it. And what I loved about this movie that they don't explain in other films was the relationship between John and Amanda, and their differential of justice. So with John, he puts everybody in a trap. Everybody gets the same chance.
Yep.
But with Amanda, and we see this in later movies, especially in part 3, if you remember part 3, she makes traps unwinnable because she believes that some people deserve death. This is justice being served, where in John Kramer's case, he would prefer that everyone live but learn their lesson.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm going to kill these traps are meant to kill. It's a fundamental disagreement between John Kramer and Amanda, but they explore it in this movie. They don't just say it in a passing line. They actually develop that character so you understand what is this? They decided to make a movie? They actually decided to make a movie.
It took them like 10 movies.
Oh my God, 10 times the charm. You know what they say?
But it's cool that she felt different towards the character Gabriella because she was just a victim of drug abuse. Mm-hmm. Being that she's desperate for the drugs and she's addicted, it feels like Amanda knows that's why she's in. Because
she was a drug addicted person
so she knows what she feels.
And John Kramer is basically like no, it's free will. Yeah, everyone has free will. And the thing is, what the difference between Amanda and John, why they differentiate, is because when she sees it, like, this is a girl that's just put in a bad situation. She shouldn't be in these traps. We should try to do something else. And then the other person, the main person that's orchestrating this whole thing, pure evil McGee, Charlize Theron, like, she kind of looks like Charlize Theron a little bit.
She has a fancy name too.
She's pure evil. Like, she is pure evil, this character. And they're both put in the same circumstance where they both have to do a trap. And then Amanda's like, I don't vibe with this. That doctor deserves to die. This girl deserves rehab. Like, we can't treat them the same.
Yeah.
And then John's like, nah, they all gonna do the same trap, baby. They're all going to learn a lesson. So you see the difference in their ideology. You understand it. It's not just there as a throwaway line. Like, they really took their time with this script and the story. And I hope I'm not overselling this, but they really took their time to let the movie breathe. It's the longest Saw, I think. It's like 2 hours long.
Especially, between the different kind of, what do you call that? The different ones that they were doing, pretty much.
Yeah.
You're right. They gave them time to breathe.
Yeah. So
you get to explore more of the characters. You get to explore all different stuff and what you hear in the movie and stuff like that. I have to agree with you. I don't think you're overselling it, man. I think it was great.
I liked it. And I liked the different twists.
It felt like a different movie.
It did.
It felt like this is the first Saw movie, in my opinion. It felt like... Yeah. I mean, you have to see the other Saw movies, obviously, but this feels different from the others.
Yeah, it felt to me like another studio picked it up. Like, it felt like a new studio. Because it's the same studio. Yeah, it's Twisted Pictures and Lionsgate. But it feels like somebody bought the rights to Saw.
Yeah.
And they said, we're going to do a requel, right? Forget 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to cut all that shit out. We're going to redo the movie from 1. Like how they did with Halloween. Halloween 2018. Yep. They were like, okay, forget everything else after Halloween 1975. We're going to 1979, whatever. We're going to it was 1979, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, one of those in the 70s.
It's like Wishmaster 4. They said forget 4. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, forget it, forget it all. So it's like they said this movie feels like a requel. They said, okay, forget all of the Saw movies. This is the sequel. This is going to be our sequel, and it's like, damn. I wish they would have made this the sequel because this feels like the natural progression of where the movie should have went. It feels like a more developed, meatier story because the first movie is to introduce everything, the traps, the weird stuff, all that things. And then the second movie is the deep dive, the development, like Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
Like Spider-Man 1, he's in powers, he's running around, grabbing titties. And the second movie, now we dive deep into Peter Parker. We're saying, who is he? Why is he?
He did not grab titties.
He grabbed a tit. Yeah, I seen it.
Not.
You didn't see the director's cut, did you?
No, I did not.
Yeah, watch the director's cut.
If you saw Spider-Man 3, he's grabbing more than titties.
He's grabbing some juicy ass. But anyway, he's grabbing ass. He was grabbing titties in that movie. But
no, he was not.
Watch it again. Hey, comment below. Did you see the director's cut of Spider-Man 1? He's grabbing tits. But it's more of a development into the character. So this was a deep dive into John Kramer and why he does the things that he does. And you get the crazy, disgusting, bloody traps. Like, it doesn't skimp on the violence. It does not skimp on the blood.
Not at all.
There will be blood in this movie.
The gore is there.
Yeah.
I do like that this feels like unfinished project. So it's kind of like a more a rough version of what you usually see from all the Jigsaw movies.
True. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That was my favorite thing about it. The kid part was pretty cool too.
Mm.
Bringing the kid in, and I was just like, "Oh man, this kid's gonna die," and the kid's like, "No, I feel," and I was just like,
"Why?
no, Paul, how long?" I'm like, "All right,
why do you care? Like, you fixed his bike. Like, is that really all it takes?"
That's all it took. But hey,
ultimate loyalty.
Not only did he pull the lever to help from John Kramer getting waterboarded by blood, at the end he gets fucking millions of dollars.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
no, it wasn't millions. It was a couple hundred. It was $100,000.
Well,
you
saw the prices from all the people, right?
Yeah, but I think that was just his.
For Kramer.
I think that was just
cheap
his.
Asshole.
Though.
Everybody, he was like the cheapest one.
I think that was just his money, though. Like that was just his.
That's true.
Because they just finished the job, and they were going to split it up. But that was kind of that was if I were to nitpick this movie, and I don't want to nitpick it because I do like it, it's that ending sequence. So John Kramer gets put in a trap himself, right?
Yeah.
So immediately, Evil McGee gets released, and then he gets put in a trap, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, because the whole time he's just
he's choking. He's choking on blood.
I'm like, bro, this guy's fucking old as fuck. He's dead.
He's dead.
No way he's surviving this shit.
So he gets put in a trap, and then the evil character gets released because twist. There was somebody in there that that they trusted. They shouldn't have trusted. Whatever. She gets out of the trap. It's not necessarily important how she gets out of it, but she gets out of the trap. And puts John Kramer in the trap. So you're like, okay, well, the tables have turned, baby.
Yeah.
So you figure, okay, let me just, I'm evil, but I'm not like evil. But she was like, let me turn up the evil dial just a little bit more. So she already knows that he's Jigsaw. Like, she's figured out his secret identity, everything like that. And she's like, you know what?
So that means she knew before, right?
Yeah, she knew before. Yeah.
So she still scammed them.
Yeah, she knew before. Yeah, she was like, I was a little nervous. She makes a note that I was a little bit nervous that you were John Kramer, but we scammed your ass anyway. So she's like, you know what? It's just not enough evil for me. Let me see what I can do. So she's looking outside. There's a kid outside.
It just so happened the kid just starts playing the soccer.
The kid's playing soccer outside of the torture room. And then she's like, she's like, get me that kid. We're going to put that kid in a trap. And John's like pleading with her, please don't put the kid in the trap. She puts the kid in the trap, right? And then I'm like, yo, wait a minute. My nitpick comes in where I'm like, okay, you're doing this for money. You want to keep doing it. You're not here to just kill random people. This is not hostile. Like, you're not a hostile person, right? Yeah, you're not there to torture and murder people. Yeah. You're just there to take their fucking money. So it's like, I'm sitting there like, why is she becoming super evil just so the story can go on? What I would have done if I got out of the trap and I was that lady is I would have taken the gun, I would have shot John Kramer in the head, I would have shot Amanda in the head, I would have called the police for Annabelle or whatever.
Well, he did something to the bullets too, remember?
He took the powder out.
So
I would have stabbed him. I would have stabbed Amanda.
She had the knife in her hand the whole fucking time. And then used it at the guy.
I would have killed them both. Yeah. And then the one girl survives the trap. The one that we were talking about earlier, the drug addict. She survives her trap, and they're like, "Oh, take her to the hospital." And then Evil McEvil, the girl, the main baddie, goes like, "No survivors!" Boom, kills her. And I'm like, "Wait, what? Why?"
Yeah, she just steps on her neck and just
why though?
It.
Why did she kill her?
I don't know. Well, that's
stupid.
See, I felt that they kind of cheaped out on her. I wanted her to have a very fucked up way.
Yeah, she didn't die. She didn't even die in the movie. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
she doesn't die.
And then of all the people, all the traps and stuff like that, she had like the wackest one in my opinion.
Yeah, it was kind of whack. Yeah.
But obviously she
But that was the secondary trap too, though.
That's true.
Yeah, it wasn't the main trap.
She was supposed to be the waterboard.
Yeah, she was in a secondary trap that he had like John Kramer. You can't really beat him. There's multiple. He has multiple traps on top of traps. Like you think you're in the right chair, you think you're out. Nope, that's a trap. You got home. You're taking a shit on your toilet at home, like 40,000 miles away.
Wanna play a
You're in a trap.
No!
That's
like
a trap. Yeah, like there's multiple traps. So my only nitpick with that was like, okay, wait a minute. There's a better way out of this. Like you didn't set this character up to be like a malicious like sadist.
Just
so
like
I'm like, okay, like just get your money and leave. What I would have done is I would have killed John Kramer. I would have killed Amanda. And then I would have been like, hey, here, I would have called the police for Annabelle, or whatever her name was, Isabel, whatever her name was. I don't know her name. I'm gonna call her Isabella. I would have called the police for her, put the phone down, grab the money.
Way off.
Yeah, I don't know. It's close enough. She was the drug addict. I want to call her the drug addict.
Gabriella.
Gabriella, right. Yeah. So I would have called the police and the hospital for her. Boom, put her on the ground. You think she's gonna rat me out? No, she's gonna be like, yo, they put me in this trap.
Well, maybe for some perks, she might.
What do you mean? There is no perks. They're dead. They're all dead. Why would they rat me out?
See, what I would have done, I would kill Amanda.
Yeah.
But then leave John Kramer.
Why?
I'll just see what happens.
No, he has to die.
I want to live life.
See, that's why. No, you're done. That's you're just no. Now you ruined it.
Real quick, nitpick for this.
What?
What was with her fucking haircut, Amanda?
Oh, I know. They made her look bad.
She was like a fucking beetle or something like that.
That was bad haircut. Made her look 20 years old.
Yeah. And I was just like, wow, she looks great. But then what's with the fucking haircut?
That haircut was terrible.
And then it was just if I'm gonna go to Mexico and I'm gonna handle some business, and kill some people and get shit ready, I'm not dressing like that.
That's very you stand it out very much in the crowd. They see you right away. That crazy chick with a bowl cut, that's her right there.
They're like, yup, that's Amanda right there. That bitch right there.
I mean,
like everybody.
It was like you just wanted the story to go on so you could have this twist. Like all you wanted was the money. Get the money, torture John so he tells you where the money is, grab the money, and then call the police for Gabriella, and then leave. But she did this whole like Dr. Evil style, like, third act, and then she was just going crazy, and then, of course...
She just did the,
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna be evil for no reason. Like, you're already evil enough taking advantage of these, the terminally ill people.
Yeah.
So then, obviously, they go in there, and she pulls, she thinks this is the bag of money, and they're in a trap now, her and her accomplice. It was a little bit of a nitpick, but the movie's so good. It's so nuanced. There's so much care to those characters. There's so much care to the story. It's so well made that it's like, at that point, you're like, you forgive those little nitpicks.
But that's the thing. It's not a Saw movie. It doesn't feel like a typical Saw movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, this is a Saw movie? This is fucking great.
Yeah.
Especially for a horror movie.
Yeah, definitely. But, any other thoughts on Saw X?
No, and stick around for the end credits. A lot of people left in my movies when the...
Oh, when you see Hoff.
He gets it,
yeah. That was cool. Big surprise. It's one of my favorite horror movies of the year. I give it a, if I'm going to rate it on a really ridiculous and kind of difficult scale, I'll give it a Diamond T. Because the reason I give it a Diamond T is because it's the best Saw film we have, by far.
I have to agree with you.
It's a really good movie.
Not for a Saw movie. Yeah. It's the best one.
It's the best one.
Yeah.
It's the best Saw movie.
Well, horror movies this year has been tough. I will say that because there's been a lot of disappointments.
It's my favorite horror movie of the year, I think.
For me, I wouldn't say it's my favorite horror movie of the year.
Which was your favorite one of this year?
It Lives
We're
Inside.
gonna do our list.
I'm joking, man. I'm going to say Five Nights at Freddy. Fuck it. I'm just calling that shit. If Saw 10 did that shit, fucking Five Nights at Freddy's doing that shit.
I would not take that bet.
Let's fucking go.
I would not take that bet. I would not take that bet. No, but what's your favorite before?
Favorite movie of the year?
Favorite horror movie of the year. So far.
Just right off the dome?
Yeah, off the dome.
Off the slippery
There's not
slide.
It's not that many.
I'm going to say Talk to Me.
Talk to Me? Okay, cool. Yeah,
because you know why? Yeah. I think, for me, Talk to Me is a lot bigger. I like the movie, but I like who the directors were. Yeah. Because just like regular YouTube followers, I used to follow them a lot of times. I thought they were hilarious. The fact that they did this movie just shows that anybody could do it, man. Not in a bad way, but just... These guys were really well done. Yeah. There you go. It took it right out of my mouth.
I did. But if you want to take something right out of our mouth, then hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment below. Let us know what's your favorite Saw movie. I don't know.
Saw 7, imagine.
Saw 7. Saw 6 is not bad, though.
I think Saw 7 is the most random Saw movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
Saw 7
if you put it on, you watch it, like, what the fuck is going on?
Saw 7 was the final chapter. That's the final one. That was called Saw. It was called the final chapter.
Was Jason Friday the 13th 7th was the final chapter, too?
4.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, chapter. I feel like every 7th movie is like the final chapter.
Yeah, Final Friday, the final whatever, the final...
Fast and Furious. The 7 was...
It was the Fate of the Furious, I think it was 7 or something like that. Whatever, there's too many of them. There's too many of everything. Let's come up with some original ideas. But you know what? Saw 10.
Surprised me, and it was fucking awesome.
It was great. I give it, Diamond T. Let us know. What's your favorite Saw? Let us know, baby!
And did you see it yet?
Yeah, did you see it yet? Did we spoil it for you? I hope we did.
Do you want to play a game?
Yeah. Terror Talk out.